Loneliness. Loneliness is much colder than winter's bloated coat of ice hanging on the stable door in the fat corner of the old pasture where no one goes anymore. John Gardiner. Yes. It's hard for me to imagine John ever being lonely. Honestly, I look at him and I think, throngs of people must have been around him constantly. He had this gift of knowing the right thing to read, the right thing to do. In every experience I had with him, he just seemed to have this Midas touch, and he let me come on his radio program, and it was a dream come true. I sang on the radio, and I'm like, that's what I always wanted to do, and here John gave me this beautiful gift. And then I gave him a book, which was a book of poetry, of all ages poetry, and one of my students that was in it wrote a poem about what it felt like to be dyslexic. Well, I gave John the book. I didn't ask him to read any poems out of it, but the next week he pulled it out on his radio program with Paulina, and he read about 4 poems from the book, and he picked out 4 poems by kids, but he picked out one by my student Noah, who wrote about what it felt like to be dyslexic. And now, this is a kid who quit school and was being homeschooled because he thought he was stupid. Right. And when I saw Noah the week after, he's like, if someone reads your poem on the radio, you're not stupid. And I was like, you're right. So one of the many times, yeah. John gave me the title to another book he submitted. It was a book on addiction, and John knew addiction and wrote so beautifully and so rawly about it. It touched me in such a way that we named the book after one of the lines in his poems, and it's snorted the moon and doused the sun. And when I wrote to him, I was so nervous because I really wanted to use this, and I had my heart set on it. And he wrote me back immediately and said, oh, yes, of course. And I went, oh my gosh, John Gardiner let me use a line of his poem as a title for a book. I'm so excited. So I could go on and on, but I'm going to read just one poem that I wrote for John. I drive the Laguna Canyon Highway every week, and I can't, of course, ever drive it again without thinking about John. Sure. And but even before he left us, I would think about him every time I entered the canyon. So this is called Canyon Blues for John Gardiner. I drive the canyon road, eyes peeled for coyote crossing the road, and see you running naked, cutting through brush, a beautiful wild beast, guts full of dynamite, Saturday morning cartoon written all over your face, twins, spinning kaleidoscopes, laser stare, a psychedelic light show choreographed to you, beating your chest, howling a full moon into the sky. Your song floods the winding red cavern, waking the night, saying, it's time to move. You began a revolution here. Every turntable and disco ball on PCH spun out and exploded into flaming glitter. Fireworks light up the whole damn town like it's forever the greatest Independence Day of them all. For you've become blue whale free. You've traded those sparkling canines for an endless ocean of heavenly azure. I only see you in my mind, but I hear you loud and sure. To be or not to be bohemian. I know you are clear as the 12th night, standing in the theater in the round. You old dog so full of new tricks. You cat in the hat, juggle them one-handed while holding a skull to the sky and balancing on an old globe. As golden ghosts smoke ring from your Valentine's Day colored lips. You are the last mic drop reverberating through radio waves forevermore. There will never be another. May you never take your last bow.